Hello, so I thought I would do a tutorial on the purple look that I did on my Instagram the other day and on my Facebook page. If you're not following these pages, then I will put them somewhere so you know where to find me. Yeah, just basically showing what I used and also how I did it. A little mini tutorial, hopefully not last too long, just to show you mainly the eye look, and then I'll show you a little bit about what I put on my face as well. Yeah, so stay tuned. Okay, so I've brought you in a little bit more closer so you can see my eyes. Hopefully not too close. So the palette I mainly used for this look was the new Morphe palette 24A Artist Pass. It looks a bit like this inside. It was one I got not long ago. It's just gorgeous. Loads of nice colours, like bright colours, and some cool little funky look about the stars in. I used that on my cheeks, so you'll see that. Yeah, so that's what I mainly used. And then because it's only got the dark purple and that one, I used a different lighter purple from the Mitchell palette, Me, Myself and Mitchell of Beauty Bay, and the colour I use is Miles High, just so you're aware. But any other purple, I'm sure it's just a brighter purple, just to fit, you'll see anyway, fade it out. Yeah, so I start first with my eyebrows, and I didn't really use much on my eyebrows because I wanted it to mainly be about the eye look. So I used my NYX crayon pencil that I showed you the other day in my brow tutorial. This colour is an espresso. It's got a nice little brush on the end, so you can keep doing that whilst you're putting the product on and buffing it through, and then a little crayon underneath it. So I'm just going to do that now quickly. You don't need showing how I did that. So bye. So the brows are done, just a little bit there and fluffy. And next I go in with the P. Louise Pro base. Shade number 2, this one. Yeah, I always use this when I'm doing a big eye colour look, especially because it's just the best base to keep it all. Makes the colour really pop and stay exactly where it is, and it blends a dream, so it's just beautiful to use. So what I do with this is I get a flat brush. The one I'm using is a Zoeva brush, soft concealer 144. It's quite thick, this one, and quite big. Normally people use a thinner one. You can actually get one with the P. Louise, so if you have a look you can order one at the same time. So I just get some of this product on, and I'm going to just angle it slightly downwards. And pull it across. Just like that. Just under where my brow is. Just to really define that eyebrow. And then I'm going to go underneath and pat it in. You've got to make sure you really pat it in. After that, I then go in with a buffer kind of style brush, not too thick. I'll use this one from Real Techniques. It says Deluxe Crease Brush, this one, so it's not too big, and I like to just really pack that on, make sure it's still there. I don't add any more. If you think you need to add a bit more, then just put it on small amounts. I would rather do that than put loads on and then there's too much on the eye. Okay, so once you've done that, it should look really smooth and buffed in, and then you're ready to start with your eye look. So I'm going to go in with a dark purple first, not that bright purple from that artist palette. It's a darker purple from the Mitchell palette, and it is called Motto. And we're going to take this colour, tap it off a little bit, and we're going to go right on this end. Sorry, can you see me? I feel like I keep covering myself up. Right in that corner. And you're going to pull it right in to the inside of your eye. So that's how I did it, that's how I started. So I just pack that on. I don't do any circular motions or anything, I literally just pack it on and make sure that colour is there. And then, because when I open my eyes you will see it's disappeared. So I want to just bring it a little bit above the crease. So I'm going to go back in and go a bit higher. Not too high, otherwise you'll make a mistake. So once that colour's brought really high, you can see that is so much better now, that you'd actually be able to see that before I cut the crease. So I leave it as that, and then I go in with a different brush, a bit more fluffier. And this one is Zoeva brush Soft Definer in 227. And I'm going to go in with that Major Inspo colour from the Artist palette, so it's a little bit more of a brighter, lighter purple. Tap some of it off, and I'm just going to go over where I was and gently buff it in. Circular, small motions. So really soft and gentle with the brush, not too heavy-handed, which I make a mistake of quite often. Once you're quite happy with how it's blended, I'm then going to take another brush, and this time it is a very fluffy but quite still small and defined brush. This is the 224 Defined Crease from Zoeva, and I'm going to go in that light purple that was on about from the Mitchell palette called Miles High. Get a little bit of that on my brush. It's quite a light purple, and I'm just going to go over the top, gently buffing in to try and blend it out a little bit more, this purple. Not heavy-handed. If you want, you can go back in with the darkest colour first and just go over what you've done so it's not blended out too much. And the other brush just to buff that with the brighter purple. And then the lightest one again at the end. Okay, so once you're happy with that, we're now going to clean that up so I can cut the crease. So now I'm using a cotton bud, and I've got some Vaseline on the end of there, which a good friend has told me about this little trick, Jodie. And this just really helps cut that crease before you actually use the product to cut it, the P. Louise base, because otherwise some of the colours can merge into the base as well, which is not what you want, especially when you're using dark colours or bright colours. Then it's most likely going to merge into the base, as I found. But yeah, so this really cleans off all that makeup that you don't need and cuts your eye before you use the base. crease. There we go. Can you see that's a proper clean cut? And keep using new ones, don't keep going over with the same one, otherwise you're just going to end up with that colour everywhere. So once you've done that, you only want to coat right until this end point, because we really want to keep that depth there, which we'll add more on after anyway. So now I'm going to go back with my cut crease brush, which is the 144, and I'm going to go back to that P. Louise base that I started with, get some on the end of that brush, not too much, don't forget, and I'm going to start cutting the crease slowly but surely, and then you'll do it. Don't go too fast. You really want to make sure you pack that on and keep patting it until it feels a bit not as sticky and as glossy as it looks, because if it's too sticky, then when you put the other product on after, it's more likely to crease when you're opening and closing your eyes all the time, which we don't want. So just keep patting it. Okay, once you're happy with that, which I think I'm happy with it now, I then went in with a, I don't know what you call it, but it's a shiny, kind of like a holographic purple glittery look, and that's what I used, which you can't tell on the pictures as much. Hopefully you'll be able to see on this. This is what I used for the first half of my cut crease basically. So I'm going to go in with this Peaches and Cream brush in PC53, and I'm just going to pack that glitter on. It's called Secret Set, by the way, in the Artist palette, the Morphe one. I'm just going to pat it in. On a dream, heard the stakes are high, but still you bet on everything. All those voices tell you anything. Baby, you gon' hurt yourself if you keep listening. Inside it with you, inside it with you, inside it with you, but you don't follow through. Inside it with you, inside it with you, inside it with you, but you don't. Hopefully you can see that a little bit more than what you could on the pictures. It's a really nice, like, holographic purple. And I've seen it all from time ago. So I'm just going to stop and leave like a panel there near the end dark colour, because that's where I wanted to put the glitter. So I then went in with my just a flat brush. This doesn't have a number, but it's from Poise. It's a vanilla flat brush. And I went in back into the Artist Morphe palette, and I went into Mic Drop, which is a bright purple glitter, pressed glitter. So I get quite a bit on the brush, pack that on. I'm just going to put it in like a diagonal near the corner. Don't take it too wide, and also just pack on where you... It's okay if some of it goes on this side and that side, because it then just blends all together. I then used the other side of this brush because I didn't want to get another one dirty. And I went into a white kind of glitter from the Artist palette, and it is called Invite Only. So I got some of that on, and I literally just went over the top of this purple with the same one. I feel like that had a bit more of a holographic look to it as well, so I really like these two together. You could then leave it as that, but I went a bit extra and I used from Shine Shack. It is Cosmic Glitter Mix, so as you can see they're all like purple holographic kind of pieces and they're a bit chunkier. So I just got some of this on the brush and I just tapped it on as best as I could, and if it stuck, it stuck. Some of them will stay and some of them will fall down your lashes, but it's fine. But I just think it just adds that little bit extra. Oh yeah. Then I get the first little brush that I used. This I didn't even tell you actually. This is Peaches and Cream brush in CO7. That's what I first used for the first dark purple crease. So I'm going to go back in with that dark colour, which is Motto. I'm just going to make sure that there's enough in this corner and it's blended in with that glitter. Get glitter on your eyelashes, don't happen. Just let it be. So that's that eye look. Then gone in with a really small defined brush. This is Peaches and Cream PC32, and I think, I'm trying to remember, on the corner I'm sure I used the Morphe Artist palette and I used Private Oasis, so I got a little bit of that on my brush, which is one of the bigger glitters in the middle, and I just tapped it in the corner for a highlight, but it's a bit more glittery. I'm trying to think if I used, let me have a look at invite only. I got a little bit of the invite only, which I used on top of the purple, and put that in as well. I thought so. It's got a bit more of a like in the light it's a different colour, not just white. I don't know how you describe that. Somebody help me. And then got a little bit and put it in my high brow, the highest point of my brow here. That's invite only. And I'm just going to go with that 224 brush that had the light colour purple and just go over that so it's blended in with that purple. Hope that's shining as much as it is moving it to me on here. So it's very bright. I didn't use any liner or anything. I went straight in with lashes next, and I think the lashes I used were, I definitely know they're from Prima Lash, which I love their brand and lashes, and I think these are Vein, and these lashes are called Vein, and I'm just gonna pick off the access glue from the other day and put them on. I'll be back in a jiff. Okay, so once you put your lashes on, hopefully it'll look a bit more like this. The lashes are still drying, so there might be glue. Hope you can really see that holographic purple because it's so pretty. Right, now the lashes are on, I'm going to go off and do the other eye, because then I'll come back and show you a bit more about my face and what I used, and then what I used for my under eyes. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I'm back, the other eye is done. And now, this is drying by the way, my eyelash, sorry. That is not done. Now I'm going to show you what I put on my face. So I primed my face with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. You just rub it in your fingers together and just put it on your face. It feels a bit like a cream, but yeah, it's meant to cover those pores and hopefully giving you a better base to work with. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I used the Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. And I didn't use this all over my face because I didn't want my face to be as full coverage, because obviously it was more about my eyes than having the whole face done. So I just put this over some areas that were spotty, or areas that you think you want it to be a bit more full coverage anyway. So I just dabbed a bit of that on because it's really good, very good coverage, and such a good price as well. I think it's like £8, isn't it? It's amazing anyway, Makeup Revolution. So I'm just going to dab this in with my foundation brush. I normally like to use a dome shaped, kind of fluffy foundation brush. The one I am using is Peaches and Cream PC26. You can see it's a bit more of a dome shape. And I just like to press this into the skin, and where obviously I've put it, so it's covered up my spots quite well. Oh. And once it looks a bit more blended in, then I'm going to use the other foundation. So the other one I used was L'Oreal. This one is 3.D, and then it says /3.W, Golden Beige. So it's a bit more of a yellow skin undertone than some of the others that are pinky. So I'm just going to get a little bit of that on all over my face. It's a bit paler than the other one. Sorry, I didn't say what the other colour was. It was F10.5, the Makeup Revolution one. Just because I'm a bit more tanned at the minute, so it's a bit more of a colour fitting into my skin. But yeah, I've got a bit more of a pale one for this L'Oreal. And then I'm going to go in with the concealer buffer brush I used earlier, which is a Real Techniques one, Deluxe Crease brush. I'm just going to get a bit more product and go in between my brows. And then I'm going to go in with a damp beauty blender. I use Real Techniques one and just go over everywhere. Just really gives it that flawless finish. Okay, so once you're happy with that, I am going to go in with some concealer, and you can either use, I don't know if I used full coverage one actually, I might have used a bit more of a less coverage, I'm not so sure, but I'm going to go in with the Makeup Revolution concealer in C6, so it's really bright and really bright under eye. Just pull this across. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. I'm going to put a little bit on my chin just to brighten some areas, down the middle of my nose. I don't bother with my forehead, but if you do, go ahead. So I'm just going to let that sit on my face a minute. Then I'm going to go in with the small buffer brush like I had used earlier and just Once you think you've really buffed in under the eye, I'm going to go in with a beauty blender and just buff in the ends with my foundation, because obviously it's so much paler than my foundation, and the sides. I'm then going to go in with my translucent powder. I use the Vichy Derma Blend in translucent. Just get a little bit in the lid. And I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques brush in B02. It's a bit more like a dawn brush again, like the foundation one. It's a fluffy brush, and it's smaller than the foundation brush. Just really good for getting in the corner of your eye. So I'm just going to get a light dusting of that. I'm going to go back with my concealer brush because my eye's creased, obviously, under eye. So I'm just going to make sure it's not creased before I put the powder on, otherwise you'll set it and it'll be creased. And the other side. I also like to set around and on my nose because they tend to crease, and around my mouth area as well, and chin, and then some on my forehead because I'm getting creasy lined forehead. The wrinkles have started. Once you've powdered those areas, or whatever you feel like you need to powder, don't try and put too much on because then there'll be just a lot of powder on your face. So you want to still make your skin and face look dewy and not just a big powdered face. And then going to go in with a bit of a liquid bronzer, I'd say, and contour a little bit. This I've used the Life Proof Concealer in Sleek Makeup. This is in Hot Mocha, so it basically is concealer, but because it's a darker colour, I can contour with it. So I'm just doing a little contour, I'm not going crazy today. Just getting those cheekbones, and then a little bit on my jawline. I'm not going to do any of my head or nose because I'm just going to use that with powder later. So I'm going to go back in with my foundation brush and I'm just going to gently buff them in. On my face up, and I've got the Makeup Revolution bronze powder. Actually it says Freedom. I'm sure I got it from Makeup Revolution. Bronze Professional Pro Bronze. Yeah, Superdrug. So it wasn't a lot, it's just a nice bronze colour. And I'm just going to warm up those areas that are contoured and around my face. Sorry, I forgot to say the brush I used was the same one I used earlier for my under eye powder. So once you've done that, I'm going to go in with blusher. I picked a pinky blusher today, if I can find it. There it is. And it is Topshop one, so I'm not sure if they're going to do this anymore, especially makeup. And it's in Matte Powder Blush Shock Tactics. So it's a bright pink blush. But if you've got a bright, get that open. If you've got any bright pink blush, then I'm sure that'll do the job. Just because I really wanted it to be really bright. So I'm going to go in with my Luxe Sheer Cheek Zoeva brush in 127 and put some blush on. I like to put some on my nose as well and on my chin. I feel like it really brings it all together. then once you've done that, I'm going to go on the under eyes now. So I'm going to go back in with the small dense brush that I used, which is the PC07. And I'm going to go with that really dark first colour that I used, which is Moto from the Mitchell palette. And I'm just going to tap some of that off and just go in the outer corners of my eye. Up until you're nearly at your pupil, at the edge of your pupil there, when I look forward. Other side. Sorry, I keep covering. Once I've done that, I'm going to go with that really fluffy brush that I used at the end, the Divine Crease one in 224 Zoeva. And I'm going to get a little bit of that really pale purple, Miles High, and just go underneath that bright dark purple, just to kind of blend it in a little bit more. Okay, and once I've done that, I'm going to go with the bright purple on the 227 Zoeva brush, and it is called Major Inspo, that bright purple, and I'm just going to take that on the inside corner, not to the middle though, just literally a dot. So like that, like you've got a gap underneath the middle of your eyes. Because then I'm going to go in with the small brush that I used to highlight the corners of my eyes. It Peaches and Cream 32. And I'm going to go with a bit of that purple, which is Mic Drop in the Morphe palette. And just dot that in the middle. On the other side as well. And then I'm going to go over it with the Invite Only, which is that holographic white one. And that's it. I am going to brush off any glitter that's fallen down. And I'm going to go in with a mascara now. I'm using Revlon So Fierce. So mascara on. Then I'm going to use fluff up my brows with the trick that I taught you all the other day. Brows done, and then I'm going to do my lips, and I use the MUA Makeup Academy Intense Colour Lip Liner in Obsession. So it's a really dark brown, you see, but I'm going to mix it with the matte PS Primark Beauty lipstick in Uncovered, really pale nude lip, and the NYX Lingerie Shimmer, I don't know how that you say that, the colour's Butter anyway, it's just a gloss on top. I love a gloss, so I'll be back. So the lip is on, and now once that's on, that's all that's left to do is to put the Star Glitter highlighter, and I used Spotlight Stealer from the Artist Morphe palette. I literally just got some on my finger. You just need to swipe it. I mean, look at that. And I'm just going to dot it where I want it. Oh. It's not a highlighter. I'm just doing it because I wanted to do like a festival style look, because obviously there's been a lot of festivals cancelled. If you want the stars in a certain place, then maybe just pick them off again like that one and just put it where you want it. But yeah, I took that right up to the temple up here. I wouldn't really go to Asda like this, but you know, if you want to, do it. This is what made me want to buy the palette, because I was like, what? I want that in my life. If you want, dot a little bit on your nose. I'm just going for it now. If you want a bit more highlighter, then use a different highlighter and put it on your nose and things like that, but I think I'm happy with the look looking just with the sides. What do you think? I wanted to pull my hair down and do something really cool, but that wasn't happening. So yeah, this is the finished look. I hope you liked it. I hope the tutorial I can't say it now. The tutorial really helped. If there's anything else you want to see or something different, then just let me know and I'll have a go. But yeah, I hope you liked it and I hope you like the eye look. If you give it a go, let me know because I want to see. After that, obviously, if you were to go out, which I'm not, I would put a setting spray on. I normally use Urban Decay's All Nighter or Max Fix Plus. Honestly, can't talk. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that. If there's anything that you think I can improve on, then please tell me. Probably a million things, but that's that. I hope you liked it. Let me know. Like it, comment, share it, do whatever you want with it. Yeah, and I hope you can try this at home with the colours that you have. And I hope you do, so please let me know.